there. 131 to 106. Lakers go to 2-0 in the preseason without LeBron and AD. THT, he's leading the way with 33 on 4 of 5. He also had 10 rebounds. Kuz, 25, 4 of 7 from 3. That's a great sign. Then Montrezl Harrell doing work against his former team. Double-double at 19 and 11. Let's hear from Frank Vogel. He's speaking with Mike and the media over Zoom.
Hey, Frank, going to be a broken record from last game and ask you about Talen Horton-Tucker first again, just off that performance. You mentioned how good he looked in camp, and I know you had confidence in him going back to the bubble, but did you expect to see him have this kind of control of an offense like this night?
Yeah, I wasn't sure what to expect with him playing point guard for us as much as he did tonight. But he did that some in the G League last year, looked really comfortable with that. But more importantly, he just showed more of what we've seen from him, since we've been watching him, in the G League first season and in the bubble. Just his ability to attack offensively in a variety of different ways, attacking the basket with great finishing ability, making good decisions with his paint to great, shooting the 3-ball well, and he had a strong defensive night as well. So I knew he was going to play big minutes, and not really surprised at the numbers that he put up.
You mentioned Marc Gasol before the game, Frank, and how you're looking forward to seeing him integrated on the offense. He had 5 assists and just a lot of really nice passes. How were you able to get that together this quickly with new players and just lean on that skill set that seems like it'll be able to stick?
Well, it's I think NBA players or basketball players in general, when they know they have a guy that's going to throw them the ball, the cutting aggressiveness just picks up. And, we came into this game knowing we were going to play through Marc a lot at the top of the key. Our guys had a great mindset to really move aggressively without the basketball, and then Marc would find you, especially in the paint. And, we got a lot of great paint catches that some led to layups, some led to paint to great situations. And, Marc gives us that dynamic. It's just going to make us that more difficult to guard.
Dave? Frank, what's going to be the key to translating Talen Horton-Tucker's production from giving him 41 minutes and giving him the ball and saying, hey, we're missing a bunch of the guys tonight, they're resting, have at it, to potentially finding a role where it's however many minutes off the bench or whatever, and trying to still have that type of confidence and production? Yeah,
it's going to be... It's going to make my job difficult for sure, because we have a very deep team, and no minutes are guaranteed. So he's going to keep playing at a high level. That should push everybody else to stay playing at a high level. And but like you said, it does give us that luxury of helping, having him carry the load some for some of our guys that played deep into the championship run last year, had a short off season, and he should be able to carry some of that load.
Hey Frank, can you give us any clarity as to why post-distance Devontae won't shoot today?
Yeah, due to the health and safety protocols of the league, those guys had an excused absence from the game.
How worrisome, I guess, it is that we played one game now and we had guys from both rosters that had to kind of not be here because of that.
That's the norm for an NBA season outside the bubble. This is what we set an expectation for our team, that it's going to be abnormal to be at full strength, staff and players, and there's going to be guys out a lot, and we all just got to get used to the fact that that's going to be normal for this season league wide, and hopefully it's as minimal as possible, but we just try to find the silver lining in it. When certain guys are going to be out, other guys are going to get more opportunity, and you saw that with some of our guys tonight.
Hey Frank, along those same lines, considering you guys played the same team on Friday in practice yesterday, was there any question about whether this game tonight would happen?
Not really, to me. I never felt like it wouldn't happen. We knew we were going to be a little bit short-handed, but never really felt like it wasn't going to happen.
Brian, just kind of looking ahead to Phoenix and the road environment, Are you guys even aware of what the procedures are going to be, what kind of facilities you can use in that building? I mean, how much do you already know, and how much are we still waiting to find out just a couple of days before that happens?
It's one of those things where we've kind of heard what it may look like, but until you get there and see it, you kind of just have to figure it all out with your first trip. We're more familiar with what the NBA protocols are going to be, but then adjusting from city to city, where each local Department of Health will have different sets of rules. That's what's going to be a little bit of an adjustment for us, is just trying to figure that out. Where are we going, and how bad is the virus and the pandemic in that spot, and what are their local restrictions?
All right, that was Frank Vogel. Allie Clifton joins us. I want to get to some things with you first, but I want to also piggyback what Frank said, so let's start there. He was asked about Kostas Antetokounmpo, Devontae Cacok, and why they weren't there, and it comes down to the protocols and the roster and staffs of all these teams. It's going to be inconsistent throughout the season, and that's just the bottom line. We were even saying when we were watching that interview, you're out of the bubble now, and this is just something, as we've seen in NFL and in college sports, that you're going to have to navigate. It's going to be a different kind of year, a wild ride.
It is, and it's really important not to assume things, right? In this COVID kind of life experience, it's easy for us to assume, like a person just coughs or sneezes and everybody jumps to COVID.
Yeah.
In these situations, it's important not to assume that it's COVID related, right? There are a certain percentage of tests that are automatically going to be inconclusive, right? Which, when it's inconclusive, they have to treat it like a positive until they get further testing. So there are going to be a lot of these situations throughout a season that's going to last until June or July. So we should be prepared for some of these disruptions. And the Lakers are going to benefit because of the depth of their team. There's going to be a night where a guy has to miss for whatever reason, and they're going to have the depth and the talent to still go out and compete.
Depth, key word. Every team's going to need it. Lakers have it.
It's going to be challenging outside of the bubble. I mean, the NBA did an excellent job of setting an example of how to play and succeed in the bubble. But also, it's flu season. It's flu insulin. It's a lot going on. So it's going to be very challenging outside the bubble. And they got to take care of themselves. And like Fish said, protocol is in play.
I mean, you took the words right out of my mouth. When it comes to this team, especially, you think back to a season ago, they prided themselves on depth. And they still had the 11th best bench in the NBA, just over 39 points. And now more than ever, you're going to need that on your side. And I think given the protocols, the circumstances, everything that we cannot control, that's one element. But when you watch these first two preseason games and you're without your two superstars, there's still a lot to be excited about with the Lakers and that potential and what they do have coming off the bench.
Yeah, is that your problem? When you watch these first two games, Allie, is that the pickup for you? I mean, listen, there's no AD, there's no LeBron, and guys are taking advantage of that.
And it goes back to what Fish started the show with. It just shows the intention, your word that you use, that is being set within this organization. Because I know a lot of times you can want to overlook the preseason and you want to just get to games that matter and times and moments that count. But there's a lot of guys on this roster right now that, though Frank said at the beginning of it all, no one has to earn necessarily a job because they've got proven track records. You still have guys out there that are hustling, that are putting in the work. Guys like THT, who's acting like he belongs and proving that he belongs. Yet a guy like Montrezl Harrell that just won't quit, continues to fight and show what he can provide for this roster. And I just think that these are valuable times that the Lakers are taking advantage of right now.
It's a great, go ahead.
Another thing interesting, too, I was thinking, normally you win the championship in mid-June. Your first preseason game is not until October.
Yeah.
And that's like 4 months, and everybody's been telling you how great you are, and it seems like an eternity when that preseason starts. Like, you barely can remember the end of the season.
Buddy.
In this short window, even though it's under really difficult circumstances, these guys still, remember what it felt like championship. And so they still kind of have that residue of no, we still feel that.
We're champs.
And we want to, every time we step on the court, we want to put that out there.
Yeah.
We don't want to go through this it's the preseason, so whatever.
Not going on all the talk shows.
It looks like they serious right now.
Yeah.
And I know LeBron was texting a lot last year. I guarantee you they've already had a meeting of